want to make sure that we get the most out of this time. I want to make sure that we get the most out of this time. And for most of you, you have been through not only the procurement of a property, but you have successfully or are in the process of getting that property ready for tenants, which is the reason that we do this, right? We don't do this just for cash flow. We do this for long-term appreciation. And here at the Win Blueprint, we live by this motto. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep, right? And the only way to make sure that your property is profitable is to ensure that one, you have it in a good area. Two, you've done the necessary upgrades to ensure that people want to give you money to live in your property. And the third piece that puts it all together, I'm excited to bring on because I've had the chance to meet this woman, and not only did she give me candy, which you know I'm bribable. Not only did she give me candy because I'm bribable, but more importantly, she meets everybody where they are. Her personality is second to none, and her industry knowledge second to none. We've had some back office meetings, and when I tell you she stepped up, answered the call, and has showed herself to be more than ready for this moment. We have a new property management vendor that we're going to introduce to you guys. And we're going to do this one a little bit differently. We're going to let her introduce herself. And then, of course, well, I'm going to introduce her. And then, of course, we'll talk about her background. And then we're going to do some Q&A, right? Because this particular section of being a property owner as an investor, it doesn't work as a speech. We have to get one-on-one personal questions answered. We do not need to be the experts as your coaches this time around. We are going to ensure that we give the floor to our amazing guests. And so it is an absolute honor for me to bring on Miss Kathy Hanson. Kathy, take it away.
Well, thank you so much. And it sounds like I need to send you even more candy, Charles. So
100%.
after
100%.
that intro, right? I have my work cut out for me now. But thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to be here. I'm very passionate about working with owners and helping them through what we all call Cleveland investing because it is fun, exciting, but reality is it is a lot of work, right? And when you guys aren't out here and you're not familiar with the area, it's got stuff I never would have even dreamed of. And to be completely honest, I have a little PowerPoint that I hope will like, if that's okay to share, that I hope will kind of answer some of these questions in advance, but I do look forward to any individual questions. The one thing I can tell you right out of the gate, there is no black and white answer for anything except for my name, and even that is questionable at times. So just bear with me. If you've asked me a question specifically about a property already and you hear me say something slightly different, well, maybe your property is slightly different and it has a different solution. So I don't work out of a box. There's not one answer from me on anything that I do. I do like to evaluate every little thing. So some people might say, well, that's a liar. She said this before. Well, I mean, hey, is somebody looking for solutions and things change daily, right?
Mhm.
So with that, I think it's also super helpful to kind of take 2 seconds to jump into reality for a moment. And so I'm going to share my screen and kind of help tell you a little bit about us, a little bit about reality, some of the things that we can offer, and then obviously any questions that you might have as well. So bear with me. I'm not super used to Zoom here. I'm usually on the good old Google Meet, so I'm probably going to hit a button or two, but it's fine, right?
No
Like
worries.
we're okay.
Absolutely. So go ahead, get your PowerPoint up. At the bottom of your screen, there should be a green share button, and you should be ready to rock and roll.
You got it. And you know what? That's so funny. I don't know if my glasses, it's actually blue on my end. Can you guys see it okay?
We can see
Yes,
it.
your screen's up.
Okay. Anywho, just so you guys know, nobody else but the Win Blueprint folks have access to this PowerPoint. I specifically am trying to gear it towards you, and I've had conversations with mentors, other mentees, and so I really kind of wanted to take time just to build this around what I think might be helpful specifically for you guys. Always and forever, there's always a disclaimer when I'm around. Okay, not just on this PowerPoint. I don't give a crap if you're in person, on the phone. I sometimes cuss. I'm not always professional. I'm sorry if there's little children around. I am apologizing up front for any of that. Okay. So with that being said, kids out of the room. I don't know what's coming out.
Let- Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So here's a little guided tour of some property management basics, and viewer discretion seriously could be involved. Not really. I'm not going to be, but true, true. This is true. They're like, this is normal wear and tear. The tenants, what do we have to deal with? You that already have homes out here, this is nothing new for you. If you haven't invested out here, I hope you find a home that you don't have to deal with this. But hey, this is stuff that is real. It happens. You get tenants who they want to, there's mold in my apartment. But then you go there to treat the mold and this stuff happens. Like there's so many, and it just is so, it can be so frustrating for owners, for managers, and for the tenants, right? So it's just reality is what it is. Things are a little bit not cut and dry out here all the time, but everything has a solution no matter what. And obviously, not that owners would ever do something like this, especially not you guys, right? Let's let's have this is just throwing it out there. There are owners, and I work with some that do some crazy stuff. Their property is better than anybody else's, and they want the highest dollar, but they don't want to spend no money. And oh, by the way, no pets. But it's like an outdoor property anyway, and it has mice and roaches, and I mean, they don't want to spend the money on pest control, but don't let that tenant have a dog, right? I only want what I want. Realistically, this is just another piece of the pie that we deal with. And I'm sure you guys even experience it as you talk to other mentees, right? You're like, why would they do that? Well, it happens. Weirdest stuff, right? You would never say, I'm not going to raise the rent, but I'm just going to lower the number of rooms and just put a band-aid over it. Hey, that kind of crap can happen, right? Mechanics or maintenance folks that send up, hey, I'm here from the landlord, but I'm the cheap guy, but I'm not going to fix it, but I'm going to keep coming at three, four times, and I might even hit on you while I'm here. This happens, right? Like the reality of it is it's not always daisies, but what we like about it is just that. There's always something different, and we love finding solutions. And I feel like I keep talking like you can see me, but I know you can't. So I'm like making all these faces. So, um, but there are so many things, and we haven't even gotten to property managers out there. You guys, especially the mentors have been doing this for a long time, and any other investors that have been doing this for a long time. And I don't know about California and New York and all these other places, but I can tell you in Cleveland, it's hard to find good property managers. It just is. I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're not out there, but
Yep.
I'm saying it's hard to find them. And it's not uncommon that people will go from one to another, right? You've got to find it's a relationship that you're getting into. You have to find someone that works for you. Some of these comments, I know most of you have probably heard at one time or another, right? Or you felt it where the owner says it has approved something and the property manager doesn't, they just ignore it. They don't do anything. Or where's my rent? Did the tenant pay? And all of a sudden it's like the property management has put you in some kind of ghost mode has been activated, right? It's just,
Right.
it's
Right.
these pieces are insane, and they're all being shuffled and thrown in the air at the same time. I love this little picture because I mean it can represent anything, right? I mean, and maybe this isn't even a horrible scenario if that's all somebody wants. Hey, got a good view with some nice like greenery in the background. It's close to a road access. I mean, you could spin this however you want, but at the end of the day, there has to be a buyer for that scenario,
Yes.
right? And there has to be a good price for it. So, are property managers familiar with that kind of stuff? Are they pivoting when something isn't working? right? That's the next best thing. If it doesn't work the first time, let's try something else. you
Yeah.
know they've got to be willing to do that, and then to be clear, even less, because amongst all the crazy, even when property managers are trying to think, what do I actually do, they have multiple things they're thinking and being treated for. Some people think I put out fires all the time. The residents think I'm just writing tickets, trying to bill them, trying to cost more money. My
Hmm.
mom thinks I'm doing this. There's just so much going on. So it's a crazy world, and I think it needs crazy people to help guide you through the process. And so it just is what it is. And I just kind of wanted to share that, for better or for worse. And why does it have to be so hard to find a property manager? Because of all those things.
Yes.
There's a lot that you guys deserve, right? You deserve somebody who's going to be willing to try to find a solution. They don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. I'm far from it, right? But you want to find somebody that you feel a majority of the things that you want for your property align with your property manager. It's not just about what are the rates, what do they cost for this, what do they cost. That's important, but I want you to explore that there's more behind it if you haven't already, right?
Yes.
Really building that relationship, and what can go with it. So, ah, those are the sounds that I like to do sometimes. That's what we're here for. We're not perfect, but we sure are way better than the worst. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. There are good property management companies out there. You have to do a lot of due diligence, by having those phone conversations. Give them a quick task, ask them a couple questions, have them get back to you in a few days, see if they do. Some of those simple things are massive indicators. If you're already having to beg for a call back, that is the exact treatment the tenants are going to be getting. Keep that in
Right.
mind, right? So, anyway, we'll keep moving along. Common questions. Hopefully here I can, I'm just going to lay out the questions, and then throughout the next few slides, we'll start providing you some answers.
Yep.
What are you paying for? What are some costs? How do I get my unit rented fast to the best tenants? Lease ends, renewals, evictions, work orders, all these things to be thinking of after you find someone that you feel might be a good fit for you. There's not just one easy answer, right? When am I going to get my money? What kind of reports are available? These are some of
Hmm.
the things that I'm going to be touching on today. And so obviously we'll have plenty of time for questions if I don't specifically answer your question. Um, but these are some of the most common questions that we have. I'm not going to read all of this. It's just more here if you are, specifically into something, you can go read every line or what have you. We're recording this. You guys will have it later.
Yep.
Um, this is kind of obviously Kathy ran it through AI, so it doesn't just say we collect the shit and give it to you, because that's probably how it would look if I. But anyway, so this is a tiny bit nicer than that. Um, but rent collection and tenant communication, we do handle all that. It's part of our fee that we charge on a monthly basis. We
Hmm.
do not charge a management fee when the unit is vacant. Um, and so we take a lot of pride in tenant communication, building a relationship, not just with the homeowner, but with the tenants. Not to the point where we're hanging out with them or would consider them friends, but to the point where we're trying to build respect between the two parties, right, in our respective places, so that obviously we can have those calls. They're calling us back. If they're just going to be a day late, they're going to let us know they're a day late. We take those things very seriously. We know that we don't just jump into an eviction if on day one they haven't paid. It's more costly to you to do that type of thing and to have a turn on your unit because we're
Yes.
not willing to build a relationship and wait 5 days if they're saying they're going to be 5 days late and give them that opportunity to prove their trust. See if they're a good tenant, just having a one off time or if they're going to be a bad tenant. We can't tell that in one scenario alone. So we really want the opportunity to do that. Oh, excuse me. Um, we do screen them thoroughly. We are doing criminal backgrounds. We're doing income verifications, landlord verifications, eviction history, all the things that are necessary to tell us what we consider a good tenant to us. Those basic things can be as simple as no evictions in the past 5 years, no recent bad landlord verifications. Just the very basic, no felonies. We prefer no felonies, no misdemeanor type things recently. Like you have to understand our market. We want the best that we can get, but realistically, not everybody's going to have a 600 credit score,
Right.
right? It just is what it is. So we have to look at the whole package. We have to see if we also meet them in person always. We take a combination of things and see, how quickly do they respond to us if we do reach out with a question after meeting them or after, reviewing their application. Are they easy to get in touch with? Are they tentative when we're talking to them? There's a lot that can go into that, right? So we take that very seriously. We are not the person that is just going to fill it. That costs too much for you and us, right? It's not worth it to us to skim on those areas. Um, Maintenance coordination, inspections. This is always, we could go on for days just in this area. Everybody wants to know, do you do free inspections? Do you cost for inspections? What's a flat rate? How often do you do it? These things vary and they're all over the board. And the reason for that is we try to not have to charge for inspections. We like to find reasons that we're already going on site within a yearly basis, whether it's for a CMHA inspection, which is free anyway, right? And we're there prior to that. I mean, there's these things that we can do to try to avoid that. So we do not automatically set up on a lease. We're going every 6 months. We can if you want to pay for it. We don't recommend it. I'll be honest. I mean, that's not, it's kind of the tenant, it's their home. We really only want a reason. Yearly, do I think it's good? Absolutely, right? Like we just need to get in there. But it could be to check on their furnace. It could be they called us anyway to check on the pipes in the kitchen. There's a small leak. Hey, we're the people that we work with know what we like them to do a quick check on. So we kind of have that covered, but we could go on for days in that area. So that's just kind of general speaking on that, okay?
Yep.
Um, Lease management, legal compliance. We do all of that stuff. We're going to let you know when it needs to be registered, if it needs a lead certificate, depending on what city you're in. There are probably going to be different guidelines that we have to follow. We're going to let you know. Those are not free and paid for through us. There's a cost to you. We'll process them, right? But there's a cost. They can run anywhere from
Careful.
$80 all the way up to 500 for some of the compliances that we have out there, right? So again, there's not a black and white answer for that, but we do work with you on all that stuff. Reporting and accounting. You guys have access to a portal. I'm going to show you a few slides of that portal just so you kind of see what it looks like. It even provides you the opportunity to build your own custom reports in the portal. So it's pretty cool. And just depending on how much you want to be involved. If you don't want to be involved at all, you're going to have a monthly statement that's generated. It's going to be published to your portal. 9 out of 10 times you get an email notifying you it's ready. I say 9 out of 10 times because 1 out of 10 times, maybe 2 out of 10 times, I forget to hit the stupid button to say email everybody. But it's always there. It's always there, but there is another button. So I have to remember to go to send an email to all the owners that it's been dispersed. But regardless, it's in your portal, you're able to see it. Some of this might be getting cut off. I don't know if you can see the whole screen, but our
Okay.
prices are there. We have special pricing for the Wind Blueprint. We've even kind of gone through this. The if your unit's vacant and we find a tenant for you, I should say when we find a tenant for you, um, when we find a tenant for you that first month, we're gonna grab that whole damn thing, right? So I'm sorry, it just is what it is. We're not charging you anything prior to that. We're not charging you for the applications to do all the criminal back, none of that stuff. You don't have to pay for the photos. You don't have to pay for any of the marketing, right? So we're just gonna grab. We're not gonna pay, charge you in advance. We're just gonna charge you whatever is equal to the 1 month's rent. Um, there's other, what else is on here? Oh, any service things over $500, you're gonna get an estimate for. Okay, so we don't just go spinning. Now, the only time I have ever seen it go above that, or I should say, let me rephrase that. The only time that could go above that is if there's an absolute emergency that has to
Mm,
be addressed and we cannot reach you. Okay, that would be the only time there, but you're not going to have a bunch of crap that you're not aware of that we didn't talk to you in advance. We don't make money on maintenance. We want, look, at the end of the day, preferred, you bring your unit to me and it's ready to rent. That's what we do. That is
yeah.
what we do. You bring me a unit and we go in and we're showing it and there's water spewing to the left and the right and you can't flush the toilet and the windows are broken. There's going to be other maintenance, right? There's going to be things that come up. But generally speaking, when a tenant calls in, the toilet's not flushing. That's a great
Hmm.
example. It happens. We're going to send them a video and we're going to send them instructions saying, hey, did you try the right kind of plunger? Do you know if we come out and plunge it, we're going to charge you? And we're only not going to charge you if it's something deeper, really, really wrong, right? And then in that case, we're going to go out and do the call. We're going to determine, is it something we're billing them or is it something deeper? Then you're going to, if it's over $500, you're going to get an estimate. If it was $200 and it was whatever for to fix, we're just doing it. It costs too much to have somebody go out, come back, go back, come back,
Right.
schedule with the tenant, blah blah blah. For a couple $100, it's just not worth it, right? For anybody. Um, Anyway, so those are some of the basic things. I do also have, and I'm sure they've shared it with you, a document that states these dollar amounts and stuff, so you don't have to watch this whole PowerPoint to remember what everything costs.
Yeah.
We can help you with that. I don't know what this screen is. I guess it's just going back into the marketing and screening process, trying to get it filled, quickly for you. We do more than just listed on, Zillow, right?
Hmm.
I'm not saying that we're utilizing every avenue that's available to us right now, and I'm not sure that we ever will, but what we
Right.
do use right now has been working well. I think we could do even better in some cases. We're certainly not perfect, but I don't think it's the marketing that's the problem. I think it's when you've got people that are interested and they do reach out, it's actually taking that call and talking to those tenants and showing the tenants, right? The units. So I don't think it's necessarily just the marketing. At least that's what I've learned, right?
Yep.
So there's more information here on maintenance, emergency and custom requests. One thing we do on onboarding is it's not mandatory, but we do provide like an owner preference form. This form kind of gives you an idea. It'll ask you, hey, let's say standard credit score 550, and then it gives you the opportunity to say, I really prefer 800, right? It opens up those, and if you send it back to me and we can talk about it, it opens up those conversations for us to be a little bit more aligned with what we're trying to accomplish. so that I'm trying to do what I can within what I'm allowed to do as close to what you want,
Right.
right? So we do ask for your input. We don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to do it and it's my way or the highway." I have said that before, and I might tell you nicely that in one way or another. Never like that though, right? I'll
Right.
tell you why we can't do it that way. Is where how I would actually do it.
Awesome. Okay, so Kathy,
Yeah.
really quickly, I think that this I'm enjoying the PowerPoint, and I'm sure everybody else is finding great value in it. I want to pause and see if anyone has any questions so far to ensure that they don't forget them, and because some people might not be able to type where they are, so I want to make sure we give a quick pause for questions. If there are none, I really want you to get into this slide because it leads with my favorite question: when will I get my
When
money?
will I get my money?
I got a special slide just for that one.
Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, let's rock and roll. Kathy, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, I could literally talk for days and not even lose my breath. So I appreciate that, Charles. Do it again if you need to.
Will do. No worries.
Okay. Like he was saying, one of the biggest ones, when am I going to get my money and what kind of reporting is available? So we have recently changed this again, hey, we like to pivot, we like to try new things. We right now we have been doing the 20th of the month. And some people might of that month. So if they paid rent on the 5th of this month, you're going to get that money on or around the 20th. Okay. The reason we do the 20th is you would be surprised at how many people in the city of Cleveland they have their existing lease give them a grace period of 5 days. It's very common, 5 to 7 days, right? Well, then once they miss that agreement and we start going in, with a little I don't know. I never use force. I don't want to use that word, but once things start getting serious, sometimes they need a little wake up call. And so it takes a minute for them to actually pay. Sometimes they won't pay till after they get a notice that, hey, things are escalating, you better pay. So we really try to give you the most amount of time possible to collect as much as rent as possible from that month. And another reason that we do it that the 20th of the month is some folks have us pay utilities through us. So if we get the rent in, I need 5 seconds to go find out how much was the utility bill, take that and deduct it out of your rent, then send you what's left over. Okay. So we need time to be able to do that. And so when we start thinking about, hey, why is it seem so late? There's quite a bit of reason that goes into that. I was nervous to do it on the 20th. Um, and we've been doing it for a little bit and it's working okay, but today's the 17th and I haven't finished utility billing. So sometimes it can be nervous, but we're trying to do the fastest for you guys. Statements are always right around the first of the month, and they're on a calendar month basis. And I have examples of what those look like a little bit further in the slides. Reporting that's available. Obviously, we auto publish the statement every month so that you do not have to go do anything. But if you want, we have in our software the ability for you to create your own custom reports, whatever you want. You can do that. So there's lots of options there.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you thought that was the biggest question. That wasn't even the biggest question, Charles. And I couldn't like how do you do the drum roll sound? I was looking it up. I found all this shit and I'm like, I don't know which one I like the best. So I've just, different sounds for different things, but one of the most common questions is how long is it going to take to fill my unit? It never ends. That question is always asked. They might not ask the other ones, but they're going to ask that one. I can promise you that. And when I tell you, I really try to give a solid answer, but I want you to understand reality is sometimes it can be really fast. Sometimes it can take forever, right? And it really, there's things to consider. Not only what are you offering, but what is your property manager willing to do? The two have to come together to make beautiful music, right? It's all going to be based on what are you offering, and then how hard is your property manager willing to work to get it rented. So these are just some of the basic. I love this picture because there's the property manager person or the owner, whoever that is, saying, "Oh, the dishwasher comes with the house," and there's somebody over there washing the dishes. Well, that couple may not want that man living with them. So you might think it's great, but they're like, "What the F is happening here?" It might not be. So it really, all these fun things come into play, and it is what it is. What I can tell you, and this is not based on how fast does it get filled, because when you say that, that means the body is in the home, right? But I can tell you, it is most common for us within 45 days to have a tenant coming on board. And it could take a month or two to even get them in after that. So you've got to brace yourself. It is a ride. It is not typically fast. The only time that it can be somewhat fast is if you've got a really strong cash tenant, right? That is like finding a diamond in the rough. So it's not like everywhere where, oh, they're just all over, and again, that diamond in the rough has to align with the items on the left side. Is it got the layout they're looking for if they're going to be spending, all that cash? What are the rates? Can they afford it? There's so many different things that have to line up, that when someone says, "How long is it going to take to fill my unit?" Usually the first question is, "I don't know. I need to go out there. I need to see it, right? I need to see it myself." You sending me pictures is incredibly helpful, but it's not enough. If I go out there and I'm standing on your front door, and all along the street it says no parking, and there's no street parking for people, and there's no side parking, and across the street there's a trash compactor place that stinks, right? That's going to affect everything. So it's you got to give us time to do our due diligence once the unit comes on board. It takes a lot of time to do that. Now, when I say a lot of time, I mean we can usually, once we've been on site and we have done that, it only gathering all the data doesn't take long. But that's what can delay the day you come on board. Are you going to put it online today? It's 3 o'clock. We just signed the agreement. I can't even get out there till Wednesday, right? So, but we will provide you our thoughts, our reasoning behind it. We're going to tell you what we think you should go in at and why. You're going to say yes or no. We're going to have a conversation about that. I usually ask for a range. I'm going to say, "Look, I think we should go in at 1,000, but the reality is you're probably gonna net 850 to 9. But let's go test the market. Are you willing to let me do that?" Because if we put it on and the side of the left where the layout or the location is perfect for that one diamond in the rough, we want to put it out there for the diamond in the rough without wasting your time, right? We don't want it on the market for a year looking for a diamond in the rough, right? So those this is the most common question that we come across, and I wish I had a better answer. But if nothing else, at least I can help you explain why we don't just spit out a number. Anybody that just spits out a number and hasn't really looked and analyzed the scenario of what's going on, makes me wonder, are they just trying to flip another door and they don't care? If whatever energy they put into that is the same energy they're going to put into getting you a good tenant, it's the same energy they're going to put into calling you when you have questions. Keep those kind of things in mind, right? We want to be thorough and we want to do it across the board. But we want to be fast. We don't make money till there's somebody in there. We're motivated, if not just as much as you. You have a lot more money on the line. We're the second person in line. I don't make any money until we get somebody in there. And if they leave, I'm broke again, right? Just like you. We're in this together.
Before we go into the demo, Chuck, I think we had a couple questions. Let's end it with broke. Uh, look like we had did I miss Rebecca said, did I miss the percentage that will be charged up monthly?
Oh, no, you guys have where did I put it? You guys have a special rate. Hold on. I had it right here. This is what I get for working today before the meeting. I had it all lined out for me and then I missed it. Which I will get you guys. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a special document that we can send to you. The
Yep.
rate that we have is 9%.
Okay, that's great.
And what that means is that's just to be clear, since you asked, 1 to 4 units is 9%. To help your growth, we will drop it to 8% once you get over those 5 units. And that's in the document that we can provide.
Okay, perfect. Also from Mr. Cobb, how do you vet, what is, I guess, what's your process for vetting tenants?
So two ways. The application process is the main one, and then we do an in-person. That's usually at the showings, right? When we're showing it, we'll sit and chat with them. The application, we touched on it a little bit earlier. It's going to check criminal background. It checks their credit history, checks their prior landlord history, eviction history, all that fun stuff is part of what we do. Was there something specific related to that process that there might be an additional question on?
Mr. Cobb, give you a second to ask that. Was there?
Is there a difference on how you vet in between Section 8 tenants versus market tenants?
A little bit because we can't, when it comes to income verification, normally a cash tenant, we have to reach out to their employer, right? And that's our only source to verify. With Section 8, that would be whoever the voucher holder authority is. And so it's all, we only pre-approve pending the approval through those voucher holders. Does that help answer?
Yes.
Perfect. I will go one more question. Chuck, what do you think?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, but to follow up on, we'll do one more question, but I want to follow up on the vetting. With Section 8, is there a way to not only vet the voucher and the validity, Jesus, I need more coffee, of that voucher with whoever the entity is, but also match that with a credit score that may be lower than a 700 or something? Say, even though they're on Section 8, I still would like a 620 or something to that effect.
You can. That would be part of the preferences that you would have to do.
Okay.
I will tell you, be ready if you want over 620 in Section 8, be ready to let it sit for a while
Forever.
because
Yep.
they're
Yeah.
few and
Absolutely.
far between.
Absolutely. Just
But
throwing that
yes,
number out there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The owner preference opens up all those type of conversations. And the reason we do it on a form is because we don't want you to have to schedule five-hour meetings to go over every little detail. So I just send you the document and then you review it, and anything that, hey, says, oh yeah, let's do get together again and talk about the vetting, right? And then we can dial in closer to that. We use it as a guide. And at the end of the day, Charles, let's say, for example, going with your scenario or anybody's scenario, if you're like, I want 600 and I want a voucher holder,
Yep.
we're gonna say, I appreciate that. I'm gonna bring whatever comes available that qualifies, and you can determine at that point if you don't want to approve it. What if I have a cash tenant that comes in, has good credit, and I'm not giving you all the details, by the way. I'm
Sure.
going to tell you they pass the standard, or I'm going to say they're above standard, or I'm going to
Hmm.
say they're below standard, right? And then you're going to say, I want it or I don't want it.
Absolutely. And I think that helps with Nancy's next question, which is when a unit is listed and if it takes a little time to get interested applicants, do you check in with the owner before lowering the rent amount?
Yes and no. Usually what I do out of the gate, is I will say that range and what my game plan is. For
Hmm.
example, I'll be like, hey, I think it needs to rent for 1,000, but I think you might net 800. So I'd like to leave it on 1,000 for a week. If nothing happens, I'm going to pull it down if I don't get enough interest. I'm going to send that to you. You're going to say, yeah, that sounds good. Let's move forward, right? I'm only going to do what we have communicated about. No, I'm not going to go and all of a sudden it's online for 650. That doesn't do me any good. Right? Does that make sense? So
Absolutely.
we have a game plan that we work on together, and then I kind of I need, here's the thing, you guys are busy, I'm busy. If I have to call you every week to lower it, then that's horrible, right? Like you guys do not, I like you, but I don't like you that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So we do try to get that game plan up front, and you can
Sorry, that was funny.
yeah, you guys can be more particular if you want, but at the end of the day, we want to set those things so that we don't have to keep stalling progress, that we keep moving forward and it's in the range you're comfortable with. I've done it before where it works and we go out of the gate and we get what we want. I've gotten it to where after a week I've had to reduce it. I try, keyword try, to let you know. I did this for one of the mentees the other day. I don't know if she's on here, but we tried this scenario and 3 days in and I wasn't getting anything. I'm not even going to waste 2 weeks. You know what I mean? We might need to just slightly, even if it's $50, because what does that is when you make any of these changes, it also kind of refreshes the listing and it makes it excited again. And all of a sudden, the people that weren't looking 4 days ago are looking now. Sometimes I can just go in and change the description and that will do it, right? So sometimes if I'm getting a lot of inquiries, but nobody's really biting, I might just change the verbiage and not the price. I want that money too, believe me, right? So yes, any major changes, we do keep you guys involved. We don't do anything major without you knowing, especially when it comes to prices.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's go.
Okay.
I'm muted. Sorry. One more question before we go because we have about 15 minutes left, and I am a fan of respecting everyone's time. And there's also NFL playoffs today. So, the last question before we jump into the demo is how often do you communicate with the owner or give updates?
Only when I need to.
Perfect. Good answer.
Again, I really like you, Charles, but I got shit to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to chat, we can chat. You can call me anytime, but the conversations might get shorter and shorter because I got a vacant unit somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? I
absolutely.
want to spend my phone time with prospective tenants. That's
And
where I want most of that phone time to be. So, but yeah, I mean, not to be rude, but if you know, it's one of those things. If you need a bunch of updates, I we can do that. It's just gonna put a little kink in our style. We can't keep moving forward, right? Let us do what we do. If you don't like what's happening, then we pivot. Then we can look at what isn't working for you. What do we need to modify,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Because it's
100%.
not that we weren't talking, it's something
Right.
else isn't working. We need to fix it.
100%. Let's jump into the
Okay.
demo.
And just so you know, I'm going to go fast through this as well because I do want I deleted a lot of the ones from the original. Um this is just a brief look at what it looks like when you log in. You're going to see your properties. You have the site over here where you can select a bunch of different things, but it's easy peasy to use. You can click and see a bunch of different things about your property, right? So it's kind of nice that you're able to see that kind of stuff. Um, I'm not going to spend a long time on this. You can see the bills, you can see whatever you got to see in here. You can download stuff. If I did a copy of your lead certificate or your rental registration or whatever, you want to download certain stuff, then you'll have the access to do that. It's your data basically, right? So you can have at it whenever you want. Rent roll. It's another popular thing. People like to go in here. Again, we get those calls. Hey, I don't see it as of today. I don't see it as of today. As you come on board, and this is something that you ever have a question on, let's schedule a moment. I'll go over more in detail how we handle if they don't pay by the last day that they're supposed to pay, what our steps are that we do that. I'm happy to go into those details for you, but we do have a process we follow. It can take a minute to get them on time and or to get them even when they're late. But we'll talk to you and keep you posted on, and you can always see it here too. Statements, they'll all be here to where you can go and retrieve them at any time. Usually you get an email notification. Again, if you don't, that's because I'm a jerk and forgot to click a button. But they are here for you to view, or they can be. Now, if you don't have any money coming in or out, usually the statements will start if you've had a lot of repairs or if you've had rent coming in. I mean, it just really depends. They really don't target to go consistent until rent is coming in, if that helps. Okay. Um, anyway, more stuff on statements that you can see. This is an example. The left side is typically what you'll see on the first page. You might see some summary items underneath it. It's going to summarize all of your income, your expenses, any adjustments. An example of an adjustment would be if I did an owner distribution, right? I sent you some money or you sent me some money. Those are what they call, they're going to be adjustments. And then you're going to get into, and this could be pages and pages and pages, the transaction details. We have the opportunity. This is a home. Oh, crap. I clicked on it. Well, I'll just tell you. It can show you by unit, it can show you by property, whatever you want. We can split it out. So that if you want to see the up unit and the down unit separate so that you can see plumbing per year to date costs, we can do that on the one that you get every month. So it's super cool. And there's, you just kind of have to get one or two and then be like, Kathy, can you do this too? And I'll say, yeah, let me go switch it. And then you can have more stuff or less stuff. Our standard one shows per unit. Most people really like that. Oh, files tab. This is like the most boring part of it. I'm so glad I saved this slide for us because we all want to see about files. They're there for you if you need them, right? I think we kind of touched. There are files in the property. There are files that might be related to whatever that are here. This is the most boringest slide ever. So you're probably going to go look right to it. Probably deleted something else thinking I was deleting this, but who cares about the files? But you have the option. So, oh, and more files and bills, your favorite part, right? Why is she asking me for more money already? What is going on? I don't know. You can come here and look at everything that we've done as well so that you have access to that at any time. Why is Kathy, charging me for plumbing again? I swear I just did that 3 days ago or 3 months ago. Then you could come in here and say, Kathy, you jerk, why are you doing that again? I'll be like, oh, crap. Something didn't work right. Or I'll say, oh, this is completely different plumbing issue if you remember. And then I'm going to remind you maybe what happened, right? But at least you have access and you might be able to answer your own question at midnight when you can't sleep because we're all broke. Work orders. I'm going to go fast through this too because we're testing a new system that will actually is outside of Rentvine. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. Payments. This is where you can go in and you can pay me and you can set it up for me to pay you. It's going to be, I'll walk you through this when you're during onboarding, but there is a section here where make a contribution. You're sending me money because to replace something that's $1,500 that I don't have enough money in your portfolio to cover, I'm going to need you to send me that money. And here it kind of just shows you how that looks like to set it up. Using checking account is going to be cheaper than using a card. $2, I think, for this, and where it's like 4% if you use a card. So it gets really expensive. So only do that if it's an emergency. We do not have access to ever charge this. You have to make those contributions. Even if you save it in our portal, you could save 5 different cards, 5 different checking accounts. I can never go withdraw from that money ever. I don't have access. Anyway, that kind of walks you through that. Here's the reports quickly, just to show you this is what you will see in your portal. You can go and play with all these different items after you get in and used to it. It's all the common stuff that people like or might need for whatever accounting purposes you homeowners need.
Hmm.
Maybe you're just curious and you want to get in there and play. You can customize all of these in the reports that each of them can offer you. What else? We also have an area that has a lot of instructions and step by step. So there is support out there. If you get stuck on anything, you can reach out to me. You can do like how to in rent buying. That's the name of the program that we use. And it will give you access to basically step by step instructions on stuff, or I can send it to you. Okay, we're coming to the end. And I don't know if you guys know the game of Old Maid. If you're my age or you have kids, it's a card game where it's like playing fish and you want to pick the right one, but if you get the old maid, you're the loser. That's basically how the game works. It was really popular when I was a kid. And I kind of compare picking a property manager similar to that game. You do not want to get stuck with the old maid. And I ain't talking like literally about myself as the old maid. I'm just saying, you don't want to get stuck by picking the wrong one. Be careful, vet them, ask a lot of questions. Don't rush into it. Test them out. Give them a few things to do if you want, right? Ask around. Make sure you get good referrals because even we are not perfect. But like I said earlier, I think we're kind of like better than most as far as because most, that doesn't even say a lot. I'm just being honest. Like, you know what I mean? But we try and we do care, and we are here to help you, whether it's your first property management company that you're using, or if you're converting from one, you picked the wrong one the first time. We're here to help you with that. If you
Hmm.
ever feel like you picked the wrong one by picking us, we don't charge if you want to leave. We ask is for 30 days, and sometimes we don't even need that much. We do ask for it just so that we can help get everything cleaned up for you, let the tenants know, have a little bit of respect for all the parties that are involved of doing that transfer. We will cooperate with you unless you've done something illegal, right? That would be scary, but we will cooperate with you if you want to leave. We don't want anybody with us that doesn't want to be with us or that doesn't like the way we do things. We that's just how we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, that's all I got for you guys. Sorry I talk so much.
Kathy,
No.
thank you.
No, absolutely perfect. And again, great information. We do have a couple of extra questions as we get ready to close out. From a renter's perspective, what does Kathy, that's you, hear from renters on what they want or need to rent, like bed and bath? I guess that's basically asking what's popular. 3-1, 3-2, what's more popular right now?
Oh my gosh. Everything. There is not a wrong answer when it comes to how many bedrooms.
Yeah.
You've got single moms out here needing two bedrooms. Two-bedroom houses are super hard to find, but there's really not money in it for homeowners, right? Like sometimes it's
Okay.
just kind of too low dollar. You four bedroom duplexes aren't very popular because people with four bedrooms are going to want a single family home.
Hmm.
So you got to be thinking when it comes to bedrooms, I think it's very safe. Anything can work. What's more crucial is what are you going to do with that two, four, five, or six bedroom unit to make more tenants want it?
Right.
Is it clean? Is it look nice? You're going to get what you put into it.
Nice amenities.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, people will do anything for a damn dishwasher. I ain't lying to you.
Absolutely.
I mean, things like that, up to date looking cabinets, they go crazy over that stuff.
Yeah.
Nicely painted, new floors. Just like you and I like a new car that smells so good, it makes you so excited. You're like, hell yeah, I'm about to just pay my whole paycheck for this shit because it smells good, right? That's the same thing that's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Kathy, Kathy, I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget because I know there's going to be a lot of people that have this question. When, if let's say we have a property management company that we're working with now, will Prime Living handle the exit from that property management company to get on board with you guys?
So it really depends. Some other management companies won't. It depends on them if they're willing to let us get involved. What seems to work really well is now let's talk before you do it. But I'm just saying, what seems to work very well is there's a cancellation that goes out of respect to the old property management company first, letting them know that is your intention and at that time you can let them know, hey, there's going to be stuff that we need to pass back and forth. I'd like to introduce you to someone who's going to be helping me, and then that way we can all stay clear and communicative on how we're going to handle things. And then an email with all parties involved is great so that you as the owner is seeing what is happening. That is a very crucial time, and so to be able to see, what is happening during that time by both parties, so that when I say, listen, Eric, I'm about to go to have to break into the goddamn house because they are not giving me the keys.
Right.
You'll say, I've seen you ask 4 times, go have at it, get a locksmith, right?
Yeah.
Right then and there, I don't even have to tell you, you've seen the struggle I've gone with. It is it's not a fun process. And I would definitely say, let's have a conversation, and that again, there's not a one-off answer. Some property management companies are jerks and they're not going to help you no matter what you try to
Yeah.
do. So I'd prefer not to be brought into a horrible scenario that's not going to get any better if I don't have to, but I'll help where I can.
Last question we have, if you have a tenant that's not paying and property management is helping with the eviction process, do we still have, is that covered under the 9% or is that a separate fee?
Oh, it is very separate.
Very separate. Okay,
Oh
awesome.
yeah. Eviction cost, that's an attorney legal cost. That's outside of a management cost, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be a vendor cost. We can help with that, but yeah, no. Sorry. Our percent, if I did maybe like 75% a month, I might cover it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Kathy, we will make sure that everybody gets your contact information. I know you are super busy today, and I really, really, really appreciate the time that you spent with us. I know a couple of my mentees have already reached out and have you on deck for when their properties are ready, and I am looking forward to continuing this relationship with you, especially if you bring me more candy at
I know,
our
I know, I know the way to your heart, Charles.
100%,
Um,
100%,
well, thank
100%.
you
Candy and
guys.
coffee.
Thank you everybody for having me here. And whether you call us or somebody else, we sincerely wish you the best in whatever, that journey looks like. But we're here. Give us a call. We're happy to help. Wish you all the best.
Thank
Thank
you, Kathy.
you.
Thank you.
Have
And
a great day.
you too. Thank you. Winners. I've gotten a couple messages about boots on the ground. Kathy's information is now added if you guys need that. Um, Boots on the ground for Cleveland. And right now we are looking at, in case you guys haven't looked on the Facebook group page, it's February 28th, I believe it is, until the
Arrival date. It'll be that first
arrival date.
weekend.
Yep, the first 28.
So we'll be in March,
Yeah, so first
March
weekend of
1st.
March. First Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of March. Um, Only way it does not happen is if we run into some whiteout, some bad, real bad weather out there. I don't want to get anybody out there again in that type of weather that we have gone through out
Yeah,
there
yeah,
before. Just I don't want to do it. And then we're looking at going back to Alabama the third week of March, right, Chuck?
correct.
Yeah, third week of March. So other than that, that's all I got. Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you, everybody that's here today. Chuck, you got anything?
I
Anybody got
always got
anything?
something.
I know you
Um,
got something.
I always got something. Guys, listen, no matter what stage of your portfolio you are at, if you are currently getting ready for property management, if you are still in the rehab phase, or if you're getting ready to shop again, make sure that you set the target before you pull the trigger, right? Get everything in line. You've learned how to do this the first time around. You've learned how to do this the second time around. Get with your coach, get with your mentor, or if you have any other questions that you aren't able to get answered, get with each other, right? Because you want to make sure that you have everything lined in a row. You guys know I'm a military baby, one bullet, one shot, right? So line everything up before you do this. And so what I would encourage you guys to do is right now is your last really, really, really great pocket to buy, right? With less retail competitors in the market. So if you're in the market and you're getting ready to shoot your shot, line everything up. Know who you're going to work with, know what your budget is, all of those things. You guys already have all of the resources. Line that up and then take your shot. As always, we really, really appreciate your time. We appreciate your consideration with having us here with the Win Blueprint, trusting your goals with us. So, on behalf of Russell Simmons over here, I am, I'm, and our wonderful sis Michael in her absence. I want to thank you guys. We will see you either at the top or from the top. Have a great, great Saturday.
Enjoy your
Bye,
weekend.
Hey
guys.
guys,
All
see
right,
ya.
y'all.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.